Hello, YouTube. I'm Lady Vet with the Power Book 3 recap of Raising Canans, Season 3, Episode 8. Reckonings is more about a day or a time when one is forced to deal with a situation that was previously put off. For Rock, the time has come. We're here now, as unpleasant as it may be. Episode 8 began with Raquel sitting alone in her home, thinking and critiquing herself. The more Rock reviewed her life, the more she realized how out of sorts her situation is and how much stuff really should have been handled by now. First up, the pressing issues with baby brother Lulu. Speaking of Lulu, her thoughts are interrupted by the voice of Lou in the suburbs outside of her house yelling, "Who next, Rock? Who you want me to kill next?"
They need to know when we do right. So we straight killers, yo. Slow how?
Now, Rock has other issues. The young man Kanan. He is coming into his life as a thug, so it's only befitting that Ronnie is sitting with Kanan and the Bonnie and Clyde thugsters for knowledge, wisdom, and his first shot. Once Kanan refused the first shot and opted for water, Snaps told him that his father Defcom didn't drink or drive. Pop chimed in to say that she has only known him to be with one girl, Raquel, Kanan's mom. Then they pointed out that he was feared and respected and asked Kanan which would he prefer, fear or respect. Well, Ronnie answered, feared, but Kanan went down the middle, saying that to him they are both one and the same, so one would want fear and respect all at the same time. Meanwhile, Marvin made his way to Rock's only to see Brother Lou sleeping. Marvin's idea is for Lou to get into a program, to get better, because he did, and it worked for him. Rock doesn't agree that Lou needs a program since he's already talking too much, or that a program will actually work for him. It doesn't work for everyone. Aisha is at Jukebox's house having fun, clowning around, just hanging out, and notices a picture of Nicole and Jukebox. With minimal conversation, Jukebox shares that Nicole is dead when Aisha wanted to know why they broke up. Although Jukebox was saddened by the memories, she told Aisha that she wanted her to know. Rock and Marvin are still trying to figure out what to do with Lou and his stupidness. Rock asked their mom to come over and babysit Lulu. Rock tells Marvin that Kanan and Ronnie are doing business and she wants to know about it. Marvin thought that Kanan was running reefer until Rock told him that Ronnie don't do nickel and dime stuff and neither do Snaps and Pop, which sparked Marvin's interest. So, Rock put Marvin on Kanan's thing while she have a meet with Quan. They also talked about liking or not the person in the mirror and her taking responsibility for making the hard calls at the top spot. After the Thugsters meeting, Pop walked with Ronnie while Snaps walked with Kanan to their car. Pop inquired about whether or not Ronnie ever had a real girlfriend. Ronnie said yes, but he doesn't remember her name. Snaps wanted to know if Rock knows that Kanan is doing this work. He doesn't know and doesn't really care. Snaps pointed out that Rock is good at what she does. Kanan retorted, so am I. Their evening ended. Mama Joyce came over to sit with Lou and to make sure that Lulu stays put at Rock's request. But baby or man sitting comes at a price, and Mama Joyce wanted to be paid. Kanan's at work, now with his overseer Ronnie. Business is booming, just enough for Marvin to pull surveillance on Kanan's workers, their comings and their goings. Raquel has a meet with Terry and his brother David. Rock presents her needs for supplies to Terry and his brother David, but Terry wants the same deal as Hung, But Rock isn't going for that, and Terry isn't budging. Marvin continued tailing Kanan's man to his delivery point, and Butter, the group, continued to impress their leader. So much so that she appointed Jukebox as the group's leader. Crystal was pissed and walked out. Aisha was excited for Jukebox, then looked across the street to see Kanan kissing Crystal. Just as Kanan's man left his delivery point, he was snatched off his scooter by none other than Marvin, wanting to know what's in the bag. So by now, Lulu woke up to his mom's breakfast of burnt toast and eggs. He declined to eat it and to stay at Rock's house. Lulu left the house with no persuasion to stay from his mom. Captain Burke went to see Mr. Bingham and bond with him as parents of deceased daughters. Still grieving from the loss of Shannon, he thought that they may have some things to talk about. During Rock's meet with Quan, he received one of Kanan's courier packages from one of his people. He told Rock that she needed to make an example out of her competition. Also, Quan wasn't happy that Rock's productivity isn't increasing, that she is still getting the same amount that Unique did, and now someone has stepped into her territory. Rock's really got her work cut out for her. During their meeting, Captain Burke is pleading Shannon's case for not harming Nicole or anyone else. During the conversation, Mr. Bingham said that he didn't believe all that was said about Shannon, but after he was visited by the other police officer, none other than Howard, he suggested Shannon may have been complicit. Lulu removed the tape that he made for Famous for Shirley to give to Famous because he had to leave, but wouldn't say where he was going. Maybe he didn't know. Lou is going downhill very fast. Although he is crying out for help, he isn't being heard. Out of concern for Lou, Shirley called Marvin to let him know that Lou is somewhere in the wind. Marvin wanted Rock to know, but Rock's got pressing business, trying to solve issues with her competitor/son and her expansion. Rock said, "I told Mom to watch Lou." "Well, all right, Marvin. Freak Lou, freak Mom, freak all of that. Quan wants me to make an example of the competitor." Marvin said, "That's Kanan's stuff." The disagreement. Marvin wants to make Lou the priority. He needs his siblings right now. Rock wants Marvin to get the trucks figured out to move the dope. She wants to make money right now. Marvin says, "Lou needs us." Rock says, "Lou needs to shut up and we good. And Marvin, keep your eyes on the prize. You're too busy trying to help everybody else." Detective Howard visits Ogden to get an inside scoop. Marvin Thomas is linked to Baselli, Baisley, and the 40s, so he needs to hit the ground running and shake a few trees to get ahead of this thing when he takes over. The feds want any and everything on Marvin, and they want to wrap things up as soon as possible. When Famous stopped by Cafe Vu looking for Lulu, Shirley gave him the tape from Lou. Famous wanted to use Lou's studio. Shirley wasn't so sure, but eventually she agreed, but not without a fair trade, and that would be for Famous to help out around the cafe, help her cleaning the place and doing some dishes. So while Famous is trying to get his thoughts on a tape, Kanan is trying to get himself on Crystal, at least until Miss Walsh, the social worker, knocks on the door, spewing things like going to a boys' home, going home within 24 hours or else, or she will come with the police to arrest Kanan. Snaps and Pop were chilling and talking about horses and things when Raquel Thomas strolled in and to their table. So Snaps compared Rock to a thoroughbred. They invited Rock to a seat. Pop attempted to break Rock down by reminding her of the days that she was in pigtails, jumping rope as a little girl in front of her parents' house. Rock asked them to step away from Kanan, her son, that Kanan was trying to show out for his mama. He is not about the life. Snaps rattled on about parental relationships and Kanan being an associate of theirs. Rock made it plain, leave Kanan alone, and she ain't jumping rope no more. When Rock got tired of listening to the Snaps monologue about the ancestors and the road they paved, Rock, real boss like, told them that everybody talks about first this and the first that, but what really matters is the last to leave, because they're the ones turning out the light. Old school meets new school, baby. Rock repeated herself about Kanan being left alone, but somehow Snaps and Pop believe that now things are about them. Apparently, Snaps didn't appreciate Rock's visit or what she had to say. Rock did not like the terms from Terry, but she needed the truck, so Marvin is busy setting Terry up with hired help. He was helping Terry agree to their terms instead. I must say that Marvin wears many hats, and who would have put Marvin to work with the Chinese? Lulu was found in some alley with drink in hand, pissing on the wall, by a couple of would-be muggers demanding his wallet and watch. It's so difficult to watch Rock's once right-hand man decline to a state of pure drunkenness with what appears to be no hope in sight. Since Ronnie has been handling all of the lightweight for Kanan, this would be no different. Together they went to see the social worker, Miss Walsh. Ronnie had Kanan stay in the car while he approached her. Only God and Miss Walsh knows what Ronnie said. We can only assume that Ronnie threatened her because from afar we could see Ronnie's bully moves and the lady looked shook. Then Ronnie got back in the car to tell Kanan that she will not bother him anymore. On her way to rehearsal, Jukebox was at the train station chilling when three girls bum rushed her with a message from Crystal. Caught off guard, she did what she had to do until they really pissed her off. Uncommon to Rock, she paid Pernessa a visit to find out where Ronnie and Kanan are getting their work from. Rock explained to Pernessa that she's about her son and is having a real problem with Ronnie dealing with him. Rightfully so, Pernessa is scared of Ronnie, so she wants Ronnie to stay out of her life. She tells Rock that Ronnie is doing his own thing and she don't want to be bothered, and that he has a girl now. But Rock says, what girl? Side note, why is it so hard for everyone to believe that Ronnie's got a girl? Oh, okay, that's another video. So Pernessa continued to say that it's the one from the bodega. She was at her house with Ronnie. Soon after, Pernessa stopped herself and told Rock that she has nothing else to say. Rock warned Pernessa to stay safe. Back at Butter's rehearsal studio, Jukebox is missing for rehearsal when Crystal says that she could stand in for Jukebox until she gets there. If she gets there. To Crystal's surprise, Jukebox hurries in, blaming the train for being late. Jukebox was scratched and bruised and put it on having a trip and fall. Just before taking their places, Jukebox confronted Crystal to let her know that her friends went home with bumps and bruises. Marvin hid himself and a camera in a dark space in the room where Terry and his guests were engaged in adult fun. Terry was surprised by Marvin and his picture-taking moments. Marvin told Terry that he was there to grab a few memories for his wife. Marvin paid the girl off and she left Terry asking Marvin what did he want. Marvin told Terry that he and his sister want to work with Terry, not on his terms, or he would show Terry's wife the pigs. On Rock's quest for reckoning, her next move was to meet with Joaquin about Juliana's behavior. Her cousin doubted what Rock had to say, but Rock was pretty convincing. And no doubt, Joaquin knows that Juliana made several changes lately. Either way, Rock want to get at her. So she told him to do what he has to do to confirm what she's saying, and she will do what she has to do. Goodbye, Juliana. Marvin and the snake Gerald have a meet for breakfast with his girls, but Gerald is asking the kinds of questions that he shouldn't ask Marvin in an evil attempt to get information on Marvin, using jukebox's come up. It wasn't long before Marvin realized that Gerald was talking to the police about him, and we know that didn't sit well with Marvin. Has Gerald forgotten when he met Marvin that he was saved by Miss Renee? Well, Gerald, even the feds can't protect you from Marvin now. Jukebox went back to the military recruiter station to question possibilities of backing out. Of course, the recruiter did not want to miss his quota, so he talked to Jukebox about commitments and breaking promises to the government. Jukebox left, but not before telling the recruiter that her country has broken promises to her. Gerald and his girls were spending family time when Gerald notices that someone is outside his home. Once Gerald saw the lights signaling him, he took a break from the girls and went outside. Gerald's private guests were none other than Agent Tanner. Tanner told Gerald to tell them something good about Marvin to help their case, or he will be in Sing Sing. A drinking Lulu, or shall I say a drunk Lulu, is reckoning with himself in his car while staring at the pistol in the passenger seat. At the end of the day, Rock gets to taste revenge. Rock gets to have a moment of reckoning with Juliana. Remember, last they saw each other, Rock told Juliana when she see her again, it won't be about happy. Frankly, I don't know what caused Juliana to think that she was in the same league as Rock. Rock pulled up on Juliana in her home, dressed in her killer outfit to make a correction, and she did that. Rock did what she talked about with Snaps and Pop. She was the last to leave, and so she turned the lights out. We've got 2 more episodes in this season, and I'm here for it. So stay tuned, subscribe, like, and comment. See you next time, guys.